What's up, everybody? This is Brian.
And I'm Logan. And this is Tops. Wow, you look really nice today, Tops. And happy Friday, team. We're Crush Cards. Hello, my angels.
So today we are going to be bringing you guys a different version of probably one of my favorite decks. If you guys have been following the meta or the online meta, because that's all that we're really allowed to have right now, there's only two decks in which people are playing. One of them is Emancipator, and then the other one is Eldlich. But the really cool thing about Eldlich recently is that most people have been trying out different engines or just using Eldlich as an engine itself. There's Eldlich Invoke, there's Eldlich Synchron, and then there's Eldlich Zombie. And of course, being a zombie player myself and just a huge fan of zombies, before we try out the other combo versions, which we are definitely going to, we decided we were going to try to give this Eldlich Zombie World Control deck a shot.
But before we get into the profile, as always, we ask that you take a second and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. If you are subscribed, feel free to hit the notification bell. It helps the channel a lot. We also have an Instagram. It's at CrushCardsYGO. We're on there all the time, posting stories, future video ideas, all fun shenanigans. And then we also have a Discord that we've started. It's a really wholesome community. If you want to just come hang out, be casual, whatever floats your little Yu-Gi-Oh boat, the Discord is the place to be. We also have a Patreon that we started about a month ago. It really has some of the best benefits in the Yu-Gi-Oh community. There's deck building, there's dueling sessions, there's merch galore. Yeah, there's all sorts of fun stuff. I would highly recommend checking it out, and it helps support the channel. Thanks so much, team. That's my spiel. Love ya.
So we do know that this is not the most competitive version of Eldlich, but definitely is a very, very fun deck. And as a zombie player, as I said, we absolutely love playing zombies. So let's get right into the profile. Starting off with our play starters, we play triple copies of Unizombie. For anyone who doesn't know what this card does, it has two effects. It targets a monster and then increases its level, and then you could Foolish Burial any zombie from your deck to your graveyard, which is really good to just get any of your combo pieces or just any card that you would need, which we'll just get into later, into your graveyard, or just allows you to target a monster, increase its level by 1, and then discard any card. So it just helps you get a lot of stuff engraved that you would need also. This is the best play starter for the entire deck. We run a real small zombie engine, but we are still playing the double copies of Necro World Banshee. This is just a quick effect banish to activate Zombie World directly from your deck to your side of the field. You can activate that on field or in graveyard too, so a really good combo piece to just send to the graveyard off your Unizombie or just discard it either. So Necro World Banshee is really, really good at 2. We play the 1 brick, which is the copy of Glow Up Bloom. What this card does is you can banish it if it hits the graveyard, and then special summon a level 5 or higher zombie monster directly from your deck if you control Zombie World, or if not, you can still add that card to your hand. So this is a really good card to send off of your Unizombie once you have Zombie World live, and then just get either Eldlich or Doomking directly to your field. For our boss monsters, we are playing 1 copy of Doomking and then triple copies of Eldlich. This is a very, very expensive deck, unfortunately, but he is the main win condition of the deck. Most of your spells and traps function around having him on the field, and then Doomking is just a really, really good supplemental zombie boss monster. Whenever a zombie monster activates its effect, that can be in hand, on field, in the graveyard, whenever, wherever, he can chain to either negate that effect or he can chain to banish any monster on the field or in either player's graveyard.
And the reason this is so nice is because when Zombie World's up on the field, obviously everything on the field is a zombie, including your opponent's monsters. So, huzzah.
Eldlich has a really cool effect going second that helps you break boards, where you can send himself and a spell trap card in your hand to the graveyard to send a card on the field. So you can just send anything that your opponent has. It's non-destruction. It does target, but it still just gets rid of any problematic card. And then if this card is in your graveyard, you can pop any of your own spells and traps, and then you add this card back to your hand, but you can special any zombie from your hand. So this helps you get Doomking out of your hand if you opened it. You can also just special summon Eldlich directly from your hand off of this effect. And then that monster gains 1,000 attack and defense and can't be destroyed by card effects until the end of your opponent's next turn. So this card is really, really strong. Play our honorary zombie monster, the 1 copy of Foolish Burial. Just gets any monster that you need directly into your graveyard. And then we are playing triple copies of Zombie World. As Logan said before, this card just makes all the monsters on the field and in each player's graveyards zombie monsters. So this just helps you with your Doomking.
And it's basically a floodgate in its own right, because a lot of in-archetype cards rely on their archetype, like dinosaurs or Emancipator, which has to be rocks. They're not rocks anymore, they're zombies. Dinosaurs aren't dinos. Dragons aren't dragons anymore. So it's really nice because it basically oppresses the deck and doesn't allow them to play anymore. Haha.
Yeah, this card is really, really rad. This is probably one of my favorite cards. We are opting to play triple super polymerization. There is a fusion monster in our extra deck that requires 2 zombie monsters anywhere on the field. So if your opponent has 2 monsters and you have Zombie World face up on the field, all of their monsters are zombies, so you can just clear 2 cards off your opponent's field for absolutely free. This card is insane. Once again, with our budget options, we are playing a triple pot of extravagance.
First I was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, he's kidding. This deck's expensive.
Yeah, this is a very, very not budget-friendly deck. However, what this card does, for any of you guys who don't know, is you basically just shuffle your extra deck, give it to your opponent, they banish 6 cards face down, and you draw 2. This is our draw power in the deck. You don't really use your extra deck in this deck anyways, so it's just a free draw 2. And then onto our Eldlich engine, which is relatively gigantic, we play triple copies of Cursed Eldlin. This card allows you to pay 800 life points, and then you can add Eldlich from your deck to your hand, or you can search any Golden Land spell trap card directly from your deck to your hand. So this gets you access to half of your deck basically. It also has another effect where this card is sent from the field to the graveyard. You can send any Eldlich monster or Golden Land spell trap directly from your deck to your graveyard. So it gets a lot of your resources in your graveyard or gets you a lot of resources to your hand. So this card is just so good, and there's a really cool combo where you can have Eldlich in your graveyard, pop this, and then you get the effect of this sending to grave, and you get to special Eldlich. So it's like a +1. This card is really, really fun to interact with. The only restriction is that while this card is face up on the field, you cannot declare attacks except with zombie monsters. But with Zombie World face up on the field, doesn't really matter. Then we are playing triple copies of Elixir of Black Awakening. So before we get into any of the Eldritch spells and traps, all the Eldlixirs get to banish to search a golden land, and then all of the golden land cards banish to search Eldlixirs. So what this Eldlixir does, the Black Awakening allows you to special summon 1 zombie monster from your hand or deck in face up defense position. The only stipulation is if you don't control Eldritch, you have to special summon Eldritch. However, this deck just has so many ways to turbo him out that it doesn't really even matter. So mid to late game, this just gets you anything else that you would need, or it's a really good starter to get Eldlich on the board. Just play the 1 copy of Eldlixir of White Destiny. This allows you to special summon 1 zombie monster from your hand or graveyard, but once again, same thing. If you don't control Eldlich, you have to special summon Eldlich first, and being an Eldlixir, you can banish it to set any Golden Land spell trap directly from your deck to your side of the field. Then we play triple copies of Eldlixir of Scarlet Sanguine. This is basically just your 4th, 5th, and 6th copy of Black Awakening, because it just says you could special summon a zombie monster from your deck or graveyard. But once again, same thing. If you don't have Eldlich, you have to special summon Eldlich first, and then during the end phase, these can banish to set any of the Golden Land spell traps directly from your deck to your side of the field. The only balance to these cards is that you can only activate 1 of those effects each turn. So if you activate this to special summon Eldlich or any zombie monster, you can't search anything until the following turn.
That seems fair.
You're playing triple copies of Conquistador of the Golden Land. I would argue this is the best Golden Land card because this says that you can special summon this as a normal monster, light level 5, attack 500, defense 1800, and if you control Eldritch, you get the additional effect to just pop any card on the field. It's non-targeting removal. This card is nuts. This is your out to Mystic Mine. This is your out to any other problematic monster. Like, this card is so insane. And same thing, because it's a Golden Land card, during an end phase that you did not activate the pop effect or the summon effect, you get to banish it to set an Eldlixir directly to your field. We play triple copies of Hawkero of the Golden Land. This card is basically your in archetype DD Crow. Special summon this card as a normal monster. Once again, light level 5, attack 1800, defense 1500, and then if you control Eldritch, you get the additional effect to banish any monster in either player's graveyard. So this card is once again just like your in archetype DD Crow, kind of your call by the grave. It doesn't negate the effect, but when your opponent goes to just activate anything, you can just banish that card or just get rid of it if they're trying to special summon it back. So this is a really, really great card in the deck. And then it being a Golden Land name, same thing. On a different turn that you didn't activate the banishing of or the summoning effect, you just get to banish this card from your graveyard and then set an Eldlixir directly from your deck to your side of the field. You're playing double copies of Guardian of the Golden Land. Special summon this card as a normal monster, light level 8, attack 800, and defense 2500. So this is a really cool wall. And then if you control Eldritch, you get to make the attack of any monster on the field 0. And that is a permanent decrease. It's not until the end of the turn. The only thing that was ruled with this card is that you can't actually do this in the damage step because it's not a guaranteed attack modification. So just keep that in mind when you activate this, but I usually just activate it in the beginning of the battle phase to try to force something out of my opponent. So this is a really, really strong card still if you don't have a great setup. And then the last 2 cards that we are playing are double copies of Golden Land Forever!
Exclamation point. You gotta say it with enthusiasm. You can't just say Golden Land Forever. It's Golden Land Forever! Yay!
This is basically your in-archetype Solemn Judgment. Whenever a spell
Card's
trap
annoying.
or monster effect is activated while you control an Eldlich monster, which the only one we have right now is Eldlich the Golden Lord, so while you control Eldlich, you contribute a zombie monster for cost and then negate the activation. So this is actually really, really cool if you have any of your little zombies on field, like Unizombie or like a Vampire Sucker, and you know that your opponent's gonna beat over them, you can just tribute them to negate one of their cards. So now you have a big body on board that your opponent has to deal with, and you just negated something. So this card is really, really strong, and it's searchable.
Oh, it feels bad. Oh, I hate it. Oh, this deck. Gross.
It has 40 cards, so moving straight onto the extra deck, we are on an extravagance board of triple Vampire Sucker. This is literally just 2 zombie monsters, and the cool thing is whenever a zombie monster is special summoned from the graveyard, either player's graveyard, yours or your opponent's, you get to draw a card once per turn. So this card is so busted because this is another +1. And it's good to note that if Doomking is in your graveyard and there's a face-up field spell anywhere present on the field, he special summons himself in the standby phase regardless. We are playing triple copies of Draco Necro Nether Soul Dragon, the
Say that 5 times fast.
Tongue
I dare
Twister Fusion. This is the card that we were talking about that is literally just 2 zombie monsters that your super poly target. We played at 3 because we are on an extravagance package. This guy's effect doesn't come up often, but when it does not destroy a monster by battle, but when it battles a monster with an original level, it makes their attack 0, and then you clone a token of that monster in their original attack. So you just get to attack into the monster that you made 0 with their original attack. Like, you just inflict more damage. It's really, really fun. But this card is just in here to help you clear boards. Triple copies of Constellar Pleiades. This is for your zombie traps. They are both level 5s and they are both light monsters. And this is a quick effect to detach 1 material from the card and then target any card on the field and just return it to the hand.
Sounds fun. Sounds interactive.
This card is really, really fun. And then because we play triple copies of Eldlich, who is a level 10, we are on our train package of triple Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max.
Choo-choo.
This card is huge. It's a 3k beater, and it allows you to detach a material to inflict 2,000 burn damage to your opponent. So this can help you just finish your opponent off with some burn damage if you don't have enough damage on board. Or a really cool play that I like to do, if you haven't activated any of your Eldlichers, because they do lock you into zombie monsters, you can overlay 2 Eldlich into this, inflict the burn damage to your opponent, and then special the Eldlich back, then attack in for game. So this card is really, really fun. And if we're really looking for a win condition, super budget, we are playing triple copies of Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Lieb. This card is insane. So this is a 4,000 beater, and you can literally just overlay it on top of this guy. So you could do burn damage and then go into a 4k beater. But what this card says is once per turn, you can also Exe summon this card on top of any rank 10 machine monsters, so your Gustav Max, and it transfers the materials, which is really, really good. And I bet you guys are wondering how we have machine monsters if Zombie World is face up on the field. Don't forget that Eldlich in graveyard can pop any spell and trap card on your field to special summon himself. So as long as you activate that, pop your own Zombie World, get 2 Eldlich on board, you are free to play. And then once per turn, you could detach 1 material from this card and it gains 2,000 attack and defense. And also for the rest of the turn, you can only declare attacks with this card, which is totally fine. Like, this is a 6,000 beater if you activate that effect. So as long as you're able to clear your opponent's board, like, you just go in for game with this guy. And then it also has a really, really cool passive effect where this card can literally make attacks on every single monster that your opponent controls. So this is the ultimate board clearer. All right, so we're gonna shuffle real quick and just do a test hand. It's not really easy to show what a deck like this can do because this is a control deck and it does really require an interaction from your opponent. So we are going to just draw 5 cards and then just showcase what the deck can do. Cool, our first 5, we're gonna see a Uni. Ooh, a Black Elixir. Ooh. Alright, cool. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to just normal summon our Unizombie, activate its effect to send a card. We'll dump our Necroworld Banshee, and then we'll just activate the Banshee, grabbing our Zombie World directly from our deck to our side of the field. And now we can just activate our Cursed Eldlin. Now we can activate one of our Eldlichers, special summon a copy of Eldlich the Golden Lord directly from our deck to our side of the field, and then we can use the effect of our Eldlin to search. I typically grab a Conquistador just because it is the strongest card in the deck, in my opinion. So now we can set 1 and 2. Now we can just link 2. into our Vampire Sucker, and then we can activate Eldlich in our graveyard, targeting the Cursed Eldin to pop itself, adding Eldlich back from our graveyard to our hand, and then he can special summon himself, now being 3,500. And because the Cursed Eldin was sent to the graveyard, we're gonna send the Guardian of the Golden Land. And so what can happen now is we have a free pop on our opponent's turn and a free summon from the deck. So that'll get us access to Doomking, so that Zombie World is officially live. Doomking is always gonna have its negate. Then we can proceed to the end phase and then banish our Guardian to set our Elixir of White Destiny. So now what we can do when our opponent enters their draw phase, we'll just activate our Scarlet Sanguine, getting our Doomking directly from our deck to our field. And now we have access to a free pop because we control Eldlich. Anytime our opponent does anything, we can chain to banish any of our opponent's cards when a zombie monster activates, or we can just chain to negate any of their zombie effects. Because Zombie World is face up, everything on their field and graveyard will be a zombie. And then we do also have a Reborn if we happen to lose any of our boss monsters.
Wow.
So once again, it's really hard to kind of show what this deck can do, not interacting with your opponent, but it is a control deck. And just going first, you already ended on a Golden Lord, 1 free pop, Doomking with 2 interruptions, and a Reborn to get something back. Plus, you also have an additional Eldlich in your hand. So this deck is really, really fun. I think there's a reason this deck is super expensive, and it's because it's just very versatile, and you can do so much with this deck.
Yeah, it can take on a lot of different engines, so we're going to try and showcase some of those engines for the next few weeks, so that you guys can see what types of Eldlich decks you can build and that they don't have to be just zombies or pure.
That being said, we hope you guys have a fabulous Friday. We love you. We hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram. Check out our Discord. And if you really want to help support the channel, check out the Patreon link. All of them are in the description box down below, along with the link to these beautiful POW manga mats. If you use the discount code CrushManga10, you get 10% off your entire purchase.
School ends for us today, which has been a miserable adventure that I'm so happy to be done with.
Thank God.
If you're watching this video, I'm probably curled up on my couch working on my final assessment, so please think of me dearly. F in the chat for Logan, or F in the comments for Logan. So if you're watching this video, please feel bad for Logan because she's sitting on the couch, very sad right now, working on her final projects. But after today, it's done, and we'll get to have fun and do more fun things all the time. Yay! So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. We love you. You matter. You're awesome. Have a good weekend, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.